All right, today we are diving into a really fascinating model of the universe, one that kind of flips our whole understanding of time on its head. The basic idea? It suggests that the future isn't just some place we're heading. It's actually reaching back to us, right now, creating this massive cosmic loop that's anchored by warnings from the ancient past and truths from the distant future.
So, our journey starts with a genuine mystery, something that's locked away in time. This verse here talks about preserving a pharaoh's body. Now, this promise was made literally centuries before the mummy of Ramesses II was finally discovered back in 1881. But the text is really clear on this. This isn't just about a prophecy coming true. It's a sign. It's a physical object left here for a reason.
And that is the big question, isn't it? A sign of what? Because in the model we're about to unpack, this preserved body isn't just some historical artifact you'd see in a museum. No, the idea here is that it's a physical anchor point for a cosmic time loop, a tangible physical warning from way back in the past that is still echoing, still active, right here in our present.
So to really get what that warning is all about, we have to look at the one action that really defines Pharaoh in this whole framework, and it's an action of pure, raw ambition. It's about ego trying to climb out of its place on earth. It's an attempt to ascend by sending fire upward. This command right here, this is seen as the absolute key. Ignite fire upon clay, make me a tower. In this context, the pyramids become so much more than just tombs. They are symbols of humanity's ultimate ambition, right? Using stuff from the earth, clay, and earthly energy, fire, to try and build a man-made ladder to the heavens. It's all about trying to force an ascension.
Okay, so this sets up the other side of the coin. It's the essential counterforce. If humanity, through people like Pharaoh, is always sending its ambition and its fire up, this framework says a counterforce, a kind of solidified truth, was sent down from above. And this slide just lays it all out, the core conflict of this whole model. On one side, you've got the ascending fire of human ego. That's our normal arrow of time, right? Past to future. But on the other side, you have the descending iron of divine truth. And here is the really mind-bending part. This iron is said to be flowing from the future backwards into our past and our present.
So, this is absolutely crucial. Iron here isn't just a metal you dig out of the ground, it's a concept. It represents a state of being that's been forged, that's completed and solidified. It's a consciousness that has already passed the final test at the very end of time and is now being sent back to us as a form of guidance.
So where does this idea come from? Well, it's all in the language. The specific Arabic verb used here for sending down iron, anzalna, is the exact same verb used for sending down revelation, like the Qur'an itself. This shared language suggests they both come from the same place, an elevated origin that exists totally outside our normal, day-to-day experience of linear time.
So how does all this fire and iron stuff actually build a structure for the entire universe? Well, the model proposes it's not just a historical event or a loop. It's a complete cosmic architecture built on these two opposing flows of time.
This verse right here, this is presented as the master key to the whole thing. It explicitly lays out two simultaneous opposite flows of reality. You have something descending from heaven and at the same time, something ascending into it. It's describing a dynamic, dual-directional universe. The name they give this structure is Dual-Caustic. And a great way to think about it is like two beams of light crossing each other to create one super bright focal point. In this model, the two flows of time, our normal time and this reverse time, collide right here, in our present moment. And that focal point, where past ambition meets future truth, that point is symbolized by iron.
And these progressions kind of show how each flow processes reality. You see the descending flow moves from potential, from light, all the way down to a solidified truth, which is iron. And then the ascending flow, that's our human journey, right? It's a path of trial and experience which also moves toward a final, forged state of iron. So both paths are actually leading to the same destination.
So what this creates is something like a Mobius loop, where the end is constantly feeding right back into the beginning. And this fits perfectly with how God is described in that same chapter, Al-Hadid, or the iron, as the first and the last. The outcome of the final test, that iron state, is always being sent back to provide a guide for us, for the people living through the test right now.
Okay, so why should we care about any of this abstract stuff? Well, the theory argues it's because we aren't just looking at this loop from the outside. We are in it.
We are living inside a very specific, very critical phase of this whole thing, what's called the rebound period.
This timeline really puts us in a specific spot. You've got Pharaoh's age, that's the ascending fire phase. Then there's the completed future, the Iron Age. And then there's us, right in the middle. We're living in the echo of Pharaoh's spectacular failure. You could even say our modern world mirrors his, right? Building taller and taller towers, worshipping energy and fire, driven by ambition. But at the very same time, we have access to the guidance, the iron that's being sent back from that completed future.
And the framework says, look around, the proof is right in front of us. We are surrounded by physical evidence of both time flows. We have the warnings from the past, Pharaoh's actual body sitting in a museum, his pyramids still on the skyline, and we have the instruction manual from the future, the scripture that was sent down, containing information that was just unknowable at the time, like details about embryology or the expansion of the universe.
So if we are caught here in this rebound, this collision of times, what do? Well, this whole complex structure, it all ultimately boils down to a very simple, binary choice for every single one of us.
And here it is, laid out plain as day. You have a choice. Do you align with the descending flow of truth, accepting guidance like Mūsā did, or do you repeat the ascending ambition of Pharaoh, trying to force your own way with your ego? One path leads to a kind of symbolic birth into that completed Iron Age. The other leads to being consumed by the rebound of your own fire. The story of the Red Sea parting? In this model, that is the ultimate physical demonstration of this cosmic collision. The ascending force of Pharaoh's army, his ambition, it hits a boundary. For Mūsā, who's aligned with the descending iron, that boundary opens. It's like a birth. But for Pharaoh, who is driven by ascending fire, the boundary just reflects his own force right back at him. His army isn't defeated by an enemy. It's destroyed by the rebound of the very ambition that got it there in the first place.
And this, right here, is the fundamental law of the Pharaoh loop. It's the core warning that's encoded in his preserved body. Any ambition, any system, any ego that tries to force its way upward against the natural, descending flow of truth is simply destined to have its own energy reflected back, causing it to collapse in on itself.
So in the end, this whole framework leaves us with this one final provocative question. It reframes the scripture, the book, not as some historical text about the past, but as a present tense tool. It's a piece of that future state, a piece of that iron that has been placed directly into our hands right now, ready to be used to navigate this cosmic collision we all find ourselves in. The choice is when and how we decide to use it.